Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Unity Mobile Ads Masterclass. Up to this point, we have completed our Google AdMob integration. We implemented AdMob banner ads, interstitial ads, rewarded ads, open ads, and native overlay ads. Now we are going to expand our monetization system by adding more advertising networks. The next network we are going to integrate is Unity Ads. In this first Unity Ads video, we'll install the Unity Ads SDK, connect our project to the Unity dashboard, initialize Unity Ads, and implement a Unity banner ad. Now let's implement it. Before we begin, there is one important update you should know. Unity still supports direct Unity Ads integration through the Advertisement Legacy package. However, Unity now recommends using Unity Level Play mediation for production monetization because direct Unity Ads integrations may experience reduced ad performance. For this tutorial, we are using direct integration because it is the best way to understand how Unity Ads initialization, loading, callbacks, and ad units work. Later in this series, we can also integrate Unity Level Play and use multiple ad networks through mediation. First of all, let's install the Unity Ads SDK from Package Manager. For this, go to Window, select Package Manager. Inside the Package Manager, make sure the package source is set to Unity Registry. Now search for Advertisement Legacy. This is a package that provides a direct Unity Ads API for Unity projects. Click Install. Now wait for Unity to download and import the required Unity Ads classes and dependencies. Once installation is complete, we'll implement banner ad. The installation is now completed. Let's close this Package Manager window and open our Ads Manager script. First of all, let's add Unity Engine's advertisement namespace. Let's add using Unity Engine .advertisements. This namespace will give us access to the complete Unity Ads API. And now currently our class inherits from mono behavior, and to receive Unity Ads initialization callbacks, I'll also implement an interface. So I'll add a comma and write iUnity Ads initialization listener. By implementing iUnity Ads initialization listener interface, we are telling Unity Ads that this script will provide methods for initialization success and initialization failure. So let's implement interface methods. Unity Ads will automatically call one of its methods after initialization finishes. Now let's add the settings and variables required for Unity Ads. But first, let's add header attribute to improve the appearance of our component inside the Unity inspector. And now we need the Unity game ID and the banner ad unit ID. And Android and iOS have separate identifiers, so I'll use a platform check. First, let's check if Unity Android. This means the following variables will be compiled when our selected build platform is Android. Now I'll create the Android Unity game ID. Let's create serialized field, private string, Unity game ID equals empty. This Unity game ID connects our application to the correct project inside the Unity Monetization dashboard. This is not the same thing as a banner ad unit ID. The game ID identifies the application or platform configuration. The ad unit identifies the specific advertisement format that we want to load. Next, we need to create the Unity banner ad unit ID. Let's create serialized field, private string, Unity banner ad unit ID equals empty. This variable will contain the identifier for our Unity banner ad unit. Now we'll add the iOS platform check, let's say else if Unity iPhone, and close the platform check. Now let's copy Unity game ID and Unity banner ad unit ID and paste it in iOS section. Now let's configure these values from the Unity dashboard. Open the Unity dashboard and select our project. First of all, let's click on Enable Ads. And after that, Unity will ask whether we'll use mediation or Unity Ads. I'll go with Unity Ads and click on Next. And after that, I'll click on I want to start fresh and click on Next again. And after that, as application is not live yet. So I'll select my app is not live yet. After completing the setup, Unity gives us separate game IDs for Android and iOS. Now let's copy this Android game ID and click on Finish button. Now return to Unity and paste it into the Unity game ID field in the inspector. Next, return to the dashboard and open the Add Units section. Here we can see the available ad units for different formats. I'll copy the Android banner ad unit ID. Now return to Unity and paste it into the Unity banner ad unit ID field. Our dashboard configuration is now complete. Let's go back to our ads manager script. Next, we'll create a Boolean for test ads. Let's say serialized field, private, bool, test ads equals true. This variable determines whether Unity Ads runs in test mode while developing and recording the tutorial. We should keep this value enabled. This allows us to test advertisements without using live production traffic. Before publishing the game, we can disable test mode after confirming that the complete integration works correctly. Now let's create a method that will initialize Unity Ads. Let's create private, void, initialize Unity Ads. This method will initialize the Unity Ads SDK using our platform-specific game ID. Before initializing, I'll check whether Unity Ads is already initialized. Let's check if advertisement dot is initialized. If Unity Ads is already initialized, I'll print a message for already initialized, and we can move directly to loading our banner. Let's say load Unity banner ad. Then I'll return to stop the method so advertisement.initialize is not called again. If the SDK is not initialized, we'll initialize it now. Let's say advertisement.initialize and pass Unity game ID for game ID string. And test ads for test mode. Interface listener will be this. Let's understand the three arguments. The first argument is Unity game ID. This connects our build to the correct Android or iOS application inside the Unity dashboard. The second argument is test ads. This determines whether Unity Ads should use test mode. The third argument is this. We are passing the current Ads Manager instance as the initialization listener. Because this class implements Unity Ads initialization listener, Unity Ads can call our success and failure methods on this script. After that, I'll create this method called load Unity banner ad. Let's create private void load Unity banner ad. This method will request banner content from Unity Ads. Before loading a Unity banner ad, first we need to check whether a Unity banner ad is already loaded. For this, I'll create another Boolean. Let's say private bool is Unity banner loaded. And now, before starting a new request, I'll set is Unity banner loaded to false. This makes sure our script does not treat an older banner state as ready while a new request is being processed. Next, I'll select the banner position. Let's say advertisement.banner.setPosition, and position will be banner position.top center. This tells Unity Ads to place the banner at the top center of the screen. I'm using the top position because our AdMob banner ad was previously displayed at the bottom. Keeping different ad placements also makes the test result easier to understand. Now we need to create the banner loading options. Let's create banner load options. Unity banner ad load options. Equals new banner load options. Banner load options allows us to register callbacks for the banner loading process. The first callback is node callback equals on Unity banner ad loaded. This method will be called when the banner content loads successfully. And the second callback is error callback equals on Unity banner load failed. This method will be called if the banner fails to load. Next, let's create a success callback. Let's create private void on Unity banner ad loaded. This method runs when Unity Ads successfully loads the banner content. First of all, we'll say our banner is ready. For this, let's update our boolean is Unity banner loaded equals true. Next, I want the banner to appear immediately after loading. So I'll call show banner method here. If I want the banner to automatically appear when the Unity banner ad's loaded successfully. Next, let's create the load failure callback. Let's say private void on Unity banner load failed and pass string for error message. Inside it, I'll print the error. This lets us see why the banner request failed. At this point, we have configured our position and load callbacks. Now we can send the banner request. Let's say advertisement.banner.load and add ID will be Unity banner add unit ID. Load options will be Unity banner add load options. Now we have loaded the banner ad, and next step is to display our banner. Let's say private void show Unity banner. Before showing the banner, we need to make sure it has loaded. Let's check if not is Unity banner loaded. If it isn't ready, I'll print error message and return immediately. If the banner is loaded, we'll create this display callbacks. Let's say banner options. Unity banner show options equals new banner options. Banner options allows us to receive events related to the visible banner. Now, the first callback event is show callback equals on Unity banner shown. This callback runs when the banner is successfully shown. The next event is hide callback equals on Unity banner hidden. This callback runs when the banner is hidden. And the last callback event is click callback equals on Unity banner clicked. This callback runs if the user clicks the banner advertisement. And finally, we'll display the advertisement. Let's say advertisement.banner.show and add ID will be Unity banner add unit ID. And show option is Unity banner show options. Here, the first argument identifies the Unity banner add unit. The second argument contains our show, hide, and click callbacks. Next, we'll create the callback method for successfully showing add, let's say private void on Unity banner shown. In this method, we'll only print message. And this method runs when the Unity banner ad becomes visible. Next, let's create the second callback methods. Let's say private void on Unity banner hidden. This method will also print a message, and this method runs after the banner has been hidden. And now let's create the final callback method. Let's say private void on Unity banner clicked. We'll also print message in this, and this method runs if the user clicks the advertisement. These callbacks are useful for debugging and analytics. However, we should never give a user a reward for clicking a normal banner advertisement. We have already implemented the method to display the banner ad, and now we'll create a method to hide banner ad. So let's create private void hide Unity banner ad. Now inside this method, let's call advertisement.banner.hide. Unlike AdMob's banner view, Unity's direct banner API does not require us to keep a separate banner view object. Calling hide removes the Unity banner ad from the screen. And now let's call our show Unity banner ad when the Unity banner ad loaded successfully to display the ad at start. Now I'll create public methods for our Unity UI button. First, let's create method to hide Unity banner. Let's say public void hide Unity banner. And we'll simply call our private hide Unity banner, add in it to hide Unity banner. Now I'll create the public show method. Let's say public void show Unity banner. Now inside this method, we'll simply call our private show Unity banner add method. And now let's call Unity Ads Initialization method in start. But wait, I guess I am passing the wrong add unit ID. This one is for AdMob banner add, but we have to pass Unity's banner add unit ID. After Google Mobile Ads finishes initializing or inside start call, initialize Unity Ads method. And finally, copy the Unity Ads initialization success and failure methods that were created from interface and add them in Unity Ads initialization region. And now in success method, let's print a successfully initialized message. Now that Unity Ads has initialized, we can load our banner ad. Let's call load Unity banner. Add Unity Ads automatically calls one of these methods depending on initialized status. And finally, print an error in failure callback. Let's go back to Unity. I have already created 2 buttons for showing and hiding Unity banner ad. And I have assigned the correct method to both of these buttons. Now let's hit play and test on T-Banner ID. Now, as you can see, when the Unity banner loads successfully, it appears at the top center of the screen. Now I'll press the Hide Unity Banner button. As you can see, the banner disappears. Now I'll press the Show Unity Banner button. The Unity Banner ad becomes visible again. And that's it for the first Unity Ads episode. We successfully installed the Advertisement Legacy package, connected our project to the Unity dashboard, initialized the Unity Ads SDK, loaded a banner ad, and added methods to show and hide it. In the next episode, we'll implement Unity interstitial ads. If this video helped you, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.